Alright, as you can hear, it's raining outside. Today I'm going to lap 2 valves for you on video. I'm going to try to make it a short video. And I'm going to show you how I go about doing that. It's really pretty easy. I can't believe I used to pay people to do this. I mean, unless you get some serious damage, it requires pressing in new valve seats and machining them, which I think I could actually do that if I really got creative. Now I can. But everything's in pretty decent shape on this, just old and tarnished and needs a fresh surface. So we're going to do these two right here. I'm going to give you a good look at this intake valve. Before we do it, as you can see a little shiny line right there where the seat was. Actually, this one is in really good shape, not as tarnished as the others. And I'm going to zoom this camera in. Give you a good look at the seat. Right there is where the valve will seat from there to there, and you can see a little bit of rust and pitting. And we're going to use some compound and get that right out of there. You can do it by hand. You don't even need power tools for this. You can if you want. Now, a lot of times, until I ordered this little thing here, which works pretty well, sometimes it slips off the valve. These little suction cup things, you just stick it on your valve like that, and you can spin them like that. I don't have any compound on that one yet. We're just demonstrating the tool. And it works okay, but I noticed when I did the other head, by the time I got to the other valve, even though I cleaned everything up, or to the last valve, even though I cleaned everything up, it kept wanting to slip off, especially on that. So I ended up using a drill, and you can take a drill, put it on your stem. I would suggest wrapping tape, or some people have put like a rubber vacuum hose over it to protect the stem so that it doesn't put any little bite marks in it, which could hang up in your guide and could cause some bad damage. So, right over here I got coarse valve lapping compound and fine. Now, I looked around locally, anyone has is coarse. And I wanted the coarse and the fine. I found this on eBay. I forgot what I paid for it. If you look on eBay, you'll find it. But I start out with the coarse, and I just coat. That's a little bit too much. I just coat the seat here. The coarse is good for whenever you got little small nicks and dents, really bad pitting. I could actually get away with using just the fine, I think. But I'm going to go ahead and do the coarse just so I know I got a good, clean, smooth seat. The coarse just does all the rough cutting. Like I say, it gets the big stuff out of it, if there is any. In this case it is, and it's just tarnish from age. I try to cover the whole area where the seat will be. And I also put a little more on my valve. A little Q-tip works good for putting that on. Use your finger if you want, but it gets a little messy. This kind of keeps me from having to wipe my hands off all the time. Do that, and if this works out good for me, I don't want to get none of that grit or the compound underneath the suction cup, or the suction cup won't hold very well. Stick that in there like that. You can hear this stuff really grinding and cutting. You just do it like that, and you can hear it getting smoother. And what I do, if I want to make sure I'm thoroughly resurfacing that seat on both the valve and the seat, or surface that is, on the valve, and the surface on the seat, I just pick it up so I get a little more grit underneath it, because if you do that, you kind of work that grit out of there. You can do that if you want, go all the way around. That right there is more of a grinding action, I feel. Sanding. It doesn't take much when your valves aren't in bad shape to begin with. wipe that off and see what it looks like. Yeah, that valve guide there is a little snug at the top, but the part of it that's tight, it's always been like that. I never had any trouble. Remember, this engine was running okay, but it's always been tight right there at the tip there. I might want to polish that up so it doesn't do that. So I'm going to wipe all that coarse compound out of there. I'll give you a close look at the surface now on both the valve and the seat. And as you can see, right there, still got a little bit of compound on it. Yeah, I didn't get all the compound off. Use a clean rag so we can know we got it off. And as you can see that freshly ground surface, if you want to call it ground surface. Now see a little bit of a line there. I don't think it's going to hurt anything. But this is the coarse. Hopefully the fine will get it out of there. And we'll zoom back in on the actual seat. And you can see the shiny spot where we cut. And that's all that seals it. That's all it's supposed to. The whole thing isn't supposed to. And that's all of that for the coarse. And if you notice, my little Q-tip, I'm using the plow, I got a separate one for the coarse and the fine, just so I don't get any coarse grit on it when I want to finish it up with this fine. And like I said, I can't believe I used to actually pay to have this done. I can remember if it didn't need any seats or guides, any work on that or new valves, I remember it used to be like $125. I don't know what it costs now. I think I read somewhere that they're charging about $250 or so. So like I said, if your stuff isn't in that bad a shape, but you just want to freshen everything up, this is really easy and cheap to do if you do it yourself, and not that hard. And as you can see, for just reseating the valves, now for cleanup and the polishing, I had to buy some tools. I got air tools and stuff like that. But if all you're doing is a stock rebuild maybe, and you want to make sure you got a fresh, tight set of valves on your heads, this doesn't cost you that much to do yourself. Pretty much nothing. I think the compound cost me like $29 after shipping. I'd have to look it up. As you can see, that finer grit doesn't make as much noise. It should be smoother and shinier after this, I hope. All the others were. Probably actually doing this a little more thoroughly than I have to. When I feel like I'm done, I like to just keep spinning it around. I think it popped off of there. And as you see, that one's wanting to slip a little bit. And that was the trouble I had after I did almost all the valves on the other head. This little cheap suction cup thing didn't want to hold, which it's holding now. Okay, let's clean that off and see what that looks like. I believe I'm going to polish the top of that stem off before final assembly here, just because it feels so snug in that guide at the top. Of course, when you get it all the way down in there, it feels the way it should be and moves freely. Yeah, we just wipe all that out. And of course, when I'm doing with all of them, I'll take all the valves out and spray this out. You don't want any of that grit up in there after you get it running. And there's your finished surface. I do see some lines in there, but I think it'll be okay. We'll run it after we get it all together. I'll pour some diesel fuel up in that port. Set the head with combustion face down. See if it leaks. I bet it won't. We didn't before we did them. And I'll give you a close look at that. And we just do the same with the exhaust valve, and that's all there is to lapping valves. So about an hour and a half later, we got all of these seats lapped. Valves too, of course. And there's a good close-up of everything. Did not take that long. So what I got to do next, which I had written down where everything went, and everything's arranged as it came out. See, I got a little drawing there. And you want to make sure all these match up. I kept the shim that was under the spring with the right spring and in the right position. So I'm going to recheck all the heights on those before I put it together, and then we're going to have to take some stuff out of the way on this mill, clamp the head down on the table on the mill, and we'll be assembling this head, and maybe by tonight I can get some heads on this engine, I hope. But before I do that, I want to spray these out real good with carb cleaner and make sure none of that compound or anything, any kind of dirt or grit is still in there. One last cleaning. We'll finally have our heads put together.